All right, we're going to be talking about common fractions to decimals and our perfect squares. If you guys notice, these are all like the halves, the thirds, the fourths, fifths, sixths, sevenths, eighths, ninths, and then you guys are going to have to know your perfect squares up to 20 squared. Okay? Math and numbers are all about sequences. Okay, so we have to convert 1/2 to a decimal. This one's kind of easy. What is 1/2 as a decimal? 0.5. That's easy, right? Does anybody know what 1/3 is as a decimal? If you don't know it, you should divide. 1 divided by 3. Does 3 go into 1? Nope. So I put a decimal, bring it straight up. 0. 3 into 10? 3. How many do I have left over? 1. 3 into 10 is 3. What's going to happen here? It's going to repeat. So 1/3 is 0.3 with the Repetin bar on it. Here's the thing. If you can get the first one, the rest of them are easy. All you do is take the numerator on the next fraction and multiply it by that. Well, don't we get 0.6666666? That's 0.6 repeating. 1/4. Do you know what 1/4 is, Riley?
25%.
That's not a decimal. 0.25, right? Well, if I know what 1/4 is, I can get 2/4. I just multiply this by 2. Well, isn't that 0.50? Yes? Or 0.5? Look, guys, 2/4 is the same as 1/2, isn't it? So 3/4, I just take this times 3 and I get 0.75. And if 1/5 is 2/10, we read that as 2/10, which is 0.2. Isn't that say 2/10? Well, 2/5, I just take that times 2. 0.4. Next one, I just multiply it by 3. What do you get there? What's 0.2 times 3?
0.4.
3 times 2?
0.6.
What do you think the last one's going to be? Look at the pattern. 0.2, 0.4, 0.6. What do you think, Palmer?
0.8.
Yep, sure is. It's 8/10, right? Which is 8/10. Okay, 1/6, when you divide that, so when you divide 1 by 6, you get 0.1, and the 6, which number repeats? The 6, so I only put the Repetin bar over the 6. Got it? 2/6, doesn't 2/6 reduce to 1/3?
Yeah.
And we know 1/3 is 0.3 repeating. 3/6, that reduces to what? 1/2, which is 0.5. Mariah, what does 4/6 reduce to? And don't we have 2/3 right there, which is 0.6 repeating? Okay, we're going to divide 5/6 here. So if you notice, the 3 is going to repeat, so we get 0.83 repeating. Basically, the 1/6 and the 5/6 are the only two you really have to memorize. Okay? I'm going to jump over to 1/8. Okay? 1/8. Isn't an 1/8 half of a fourth? Take 0.25 and divide it by 2. Well, think of it as 0.250. What's half of 250? What's half of 250?
125.
That's what it is, 0.125. Okay? 2/8 reduces to what? 2/8 reduces to what? 1/4, which is 0.25. Basically, you guys, all you need to do is take this times 2, or watch this. All you're doing is adding 0.125 every time. Don't I get 0.250? And I can put the 0 on the end if I want. I don't have to. So 3/8, all I'm going to do is add 0.125 to that. And I get 0.375, right? 4/8 reduces to 1/2, which is 0.5. But we're just adding 125 there. Well, guess what 375 and 125 is? 0.5 or 0.500. You can write it either way. Add 0.125 to this. What's 5/8? Hayden?
0.625.
Right? Add another 125 to that. What's 6/8 going to be? Yeah, it's going to be 0.750 or 0.75. It doesn't matter if you put the 0 on the end. So 7/8, I'm going to add another 125, and I get 0.875. It's all about patterns. You're just adding 125. Now, the 9ths are probably the easiest out of any of them. Okay, go off to the side of your paper and take 1 divided by 9. How many of you got 0.1 repeating? Guess what 2/9 is? You just take that and times it by 2. Guess what it is? 0.2 repeating. What's 3/9? 0.3 repeating. What's 4/9? 0.4 repeating. What's 5/9? 0.5 repeating. 6/9, 0.6 repeating. 7/9, 0.7 repeating. 8/9 is 0.8 repeating. Okay? On 1/7, I want you on the calculator to take 1 divided by 7. 1/7 is 0.142857, and you have to put the Repetin bar over there. So this is 0.142857 with the Repetin bar. What I want you guys to, there are 6 numbers in that repeating pattern, correct?
Yeah.
How many 7ths do we have? How many 7ths? 6? Yes? And there are 6 digits there, correct? And we start with the smallest one. So the second 2/7 is just the next bigger number in that list of numbers there, which is 2, correct? So what I do is I put 0.2, I start with a 2, and I go 8, 5, 7, loop it around to the 1, 4. 2, 8, 5, 7, 1, 4 with the Repetin bar. It can only have 6 numbers with it. Okay? Look at the next one. 3/7 is a little bit bigger than 2/7, right? Yeah. So we've used the 1, we've used the 2. We got to pick the next biggest number. What's the next biggest number in that sequence, Cayenne? So what I do is I start with the 4. I put 0.4. I go 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, 1. 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, 1. And I put the Repetin bar over it. It's got to have 6 digits in it. 4/7 is just a little bit bigger. So I'm going to use not 4 but 5. I already used 4. So I start with the 5 and I go 5, 7, 1, 4, 2, 8. 5, 7, 1, 4, 2, 8. Is that 6 numbers? 5/7 is a little bit bigger than that. So what number is this one going to start with? What's it going to start with? Well, we've used the 1, the 4, the 2, the 5. What's the next biggest number? 7 or 8?
7.
So I start with the 7. I go 0.71428 with the Repetin bar. And 6/7 is going to start with the what?
8.
So I start with the 8 and I go 8. Loop it around. If you look at it, starts with the 8, 5, 7, 1, 4, 2 Repetin bar. Go on to the perfect squares. Perfect squares, you need to know the first 11 are super easy. 1 squared is 1, right? 2 squared is 4. 3 squared is 4. 9, that's not very dark. So we got 1. Why is it so much lighter? I'm on the highlighter, that's why. 1, 4, 9. 4 squared is 16. 5 squared, 6 squared, 7 squared, 8 squared, 9 squared, 64. 9 squared, 81. 10 squared. Okay, this is where I want you to look. If you can't remember these, this is what you need. Stop talking. This is what you need to know. When you get to 100, you got to that 0, what you do is you take the 2 digits in front, and I'm just going to add 2 to them. So 10 plus 2 is 12. And I look at this last number. 1 squared ends in what number? A 1. So that's 121. 12 squared, I didn't ask you to talk. You're going to add 2 to this. That's 14. 2 squared ends in a 4. 13 squared, I add 2 to this again, and I get 16. And 3 squared ends in a... Now, once you see that 9 at the end, we add 3 to the ones before it. So 16 plus 3 is 19. And 4 squared is 16, so it ends in a 6. 15 squared, I add 3 to this. That's 22. 5 squared is 25. It ends in a 5. 16 squared, I add 3 to this again. It's 25. That ends at 36. It ends in a 6. 17 squared, I add 3. I get 28. And 7 squared ends in a 9. You see how we got to the 9 again? We add 4 this time. 9 above a 9 is a 10. So when I add 4, I get 32. 8 squared is 64. It ends in a 4. So I add 4 for 19 squared. That's 36. 9 times 9 is 81. So it ends at a 1. Then 20 squared, I add 4 again. That's 40. 0 squared ends in a 0.